Good morning once again, class. We were talking about implementation of prohibition of intoxicating drinks. Now, when we talk about intoxicating drinks, then we are talking about liquor especially. And Gandhiji came from Gujarat, and drinking is prohibited or is a punishable offence in the state of Gujarat. When we talk about taking drugs, then it is a punishable offence in the entire countries. All those who know about the death of Sushant Singh Rajput, you know that how various film stars are being questioned and imprisoned because they were said to be taking drugs. Then coming to page number 110, we talk about another Gandhian principle to improve agriculture and animal husbandry. To improve agriculture on scientific lines, to come up with better quality of seeds, better irrigation facilities, better manures which will give a better yield or a better crop. Animal husbandry, to provide medical aid to the cattle or other domesticated animals, and prohibit slaughter of cows, as cow is a sacred animal for the Hindus. Now, law, justice and administration. Now, what are the directive principles which talk about the law, justice and administration? It is first to ensure that the legal system promotes justice on the basis of equal opportunity. And that justice is not denied to any citizens on grounds of discrimination of any kind. Again, the same thing, children, doesn't matter to which caste, creed, religion, community or area you belong, justice or law is equal to everybody. To make measures to separate judiciary from the executive in the public sectors. This is very important, so as not to hamper justice or to give rise to corruption. To provide uniform civil code for all citizens. This we will take up later on, children, because going into this will make the chapter lengthy and more complicated for you. Now, principles for international peace and security. Please underline. To promote international peace and security, to promote the concept of peaceful coexistence among the nations, that all nations of the world will live. Coexist means will live or exist in peaceful harmony. To settle international disputes through arbitration, negotiation and dialogue. You will not go to war with any nation just because they do not agree with your ideas, your principles, or you do not agree with their ideas and principles. To honor international laws and treaties. Whatever international treaties have been signed after World War II have to be honored by the government. Now, coming to implementation of directive principles. They strive to fulfill the goals of a welfare state. Now, following are some of the important steps taken by the government for the implementation of the directive principles. Most of the state governments have government-aided schools where children up to the 14 years of age are provided with free and compulsory education. Seats are reserved in educational institutions for the weaker sections of the society like the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and other backward caste. Scholarships are provided to the students from this category. Seats are provided in institutions where children can go and study. Children belonging to these groups can go and study. Even jobs are reserved. Untouchability, has been abolished, and its practice in any form is a punishable offence. Underline, the government has abolished the zamindari system and has introduced a number of land reforms which have helped to abolish the old feudal socio-economic structure of rural India. Zamindari system meaning to say you may own land but you cannot employ people to work on that land as slaves and not just give them anything. If you are employing people to work on your land, then you have to pay them according to the guidelines of the state. Now, for the equal payment of wages for the workers, the government has enacted the Minimum Wages Act 1948. Now, this is what I was talking about when I was giving you the example of US. But still there are places where this is not being followed, and it is up to your generation to make sure that people are given equal payment for whatever work their counterpart is doing. The payment of wages to the workers are regulated under this act. Now, the government has underline various rural development schemes like National Rural Employment Guarantee, that is called NREGA, then Integrated Rural Development Program IRDP, and Rural Landless Employment Guarantee Program, that is RLEGP. All these were formed to make sure that people were provided jobs under these various schemes of the government. Panchayati Raj, you already know, has been established in the villages to promote the idea of local self-government. To promote international peace and security, India is opposed to colonialism and racialism. You know that India under the British rule was a colony. All regions, any region of the world which at one time or the other has been under British rule is known as a colony. Racialism, you know, differentiating between people on the basis of their color or their race. Our country has helped many countries to win their freedom. India respects the international laws and treaties and tries to settle the international disputes through mutual understanding. Now, when we were learning about the study of continents, Antarctica, then I told you that after World War II, international people, Antarctica gained more importance at nations from all over the world, across the world. They focused their attention on peaceful activities, peacetime activities. And number of treaties were signed so that countries can have their own scientific stations built over there to conduct research. Now coming to fundamental rights. Now, fundamental rights, they are mentioned in the Constitution of India. These are our rights, which if we have not been given our rights, then what can we do? We can move any court of law. Now, you need to pay a lot of attention to this. So what I'll do is, this video will become very long. So I'll end this video here and start a new video with fundamental rights. Good morning, children. So now we start with fundamental rights. Now, directive principles were just guidelines which are enshrined in our Constitution to make sure they are ideas that the welfare state of a citizen is maintained. Now let us look at the fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are those rights which are essential for good life, welfare and all-round development of the citizens of a country, to make sure that that welfare state is maintained. These rights are enshrined in the Constitution of democratic countries. The Constitution of India provides these fundamental rights as a safeguard against any abuse of power by the government. Okay, so that our rights are not exploited. Now, directive principles were given in Part 4 of the Constitution. Fundamental rights are given in Part 3, Articles 12 to 35 of the Indian Constitution. Now, the first fundamental right is right to equality. It ensures both equality before law and equal protection of law. That we are all equal when we go to a court of law. Then doesn't matter. Again, same thing, children, which community, class, creed, section, area of India we belong to. We are all equal in the court of law. And if something wrong has been done to us, if we go to the police, then they cannot discriminate between us or the other people. This means that the state cannot discriminate between people on the basis of caste, creed, color, sex, religion, place of birth, etc. Please underline all that. And keep on underlining whatever you see underlined. Right to freedom. What does that mean? 6 basic freedoms to the citizens of India. Freedom of speech and expression. Whatever your thoughts, you can express them publicly, but make sure that your thoughts should not hurt any particular individual or organization. or any community, any religion. If you are doing so, then you are abusing their right to freedom. Freedom to assemble peacefully without arms. You can form unions, you can form groups, you can go on protest marches, as long as you are not destroying public property or you are not carrying any kind of arms or ammunition. Freedom to form association and unions. Okay, same thing. Okay, if you are assembling, you can be for peaceful. When we talk about Brahmakumaris in Mount Abu, then so many hundreds of people come together, they in the name of religion, and they gather together, and they are not abusing any other religion. They are just propagating their religion. So it is our freedom to assemble peacefully without arms for whatever purposes. Now, freedom to move freely throughout India. So many of you girls are here from Maharashtra, some are from UP, Rajasthan itself, or from Gujarat. Now, the government of Rajasthan cannot tell you, or the administration of Mount Abu can't tell you, oh no, you are not from Mount Abu, so you cannot come and live here or stay here, study here, be a tourist here. So that will be again abusing your freedom to move freely. So you can move to any part of India under this freedom. Same thing, freedom to reside and settle in any part of India. Where if you have the money, you can go and live in any part of India. Freedom to practice any profession, trade or business. If you have the means, the money, the capability and the ability, you are allowed. You have the right to follow any profession, trade or business. Besides these 6 freedoms, the right to freedom provides what else? That no one can be punished or prosecuted for the same offense more than once. See, if I have murdered somebody, then I cannot be punished for it twice. I will be only punishable for it once. A person cannot be deprived of his life and liberty. No, you cannot. If you're not happy with somebody's actions or words, you cannot just go and kill them. That is depriving him of his life. Liberty, if you're not happy with somebody, on your own, you cannot go and imprison them or lock them up in a room. What you can do is you can approach a court of law or the police to make sure that your right is that other people are not, or other organizations are not exploiting you. A person has the right to seek and receive information from the government and other public authorities. Children in class 5, you must have studied about right to information, the RTIs. Okay, so from respective departments, you can seek any information about the working of the government. But you have to give a valid reason why you require it. Now, right against exploitation. It prohibits slavery, beggary or other forms of forced labor and trafficking of human beings. Now, young boys, girls, women, they are being sold for illegal purposes. So it has to be stopped. You cannot prohibit slavery. Slavery, who are slaves, children who work for you without getting any adequate wages or pay. Beggary, people who are begging. Okay. Now, and employment of children below the age of 14 years in factories. This is what I was talking about. Children who in big cities, in small cities, factory and industries, they employ children below the 14 years because they don't have to pay them a lot. And in factories, even they cannot be employed in mines where there is always chances of accidents and other hazards. When I've talked about the cement industry, the bangle industry, then all the dust and all is undermining the health of their lungs. Now, right to freedom of religion. This right provides that the citizens of India have the right to profess, practice and propagate the religion of their choice. There is no state religion in India. India is a secular country. Now, whichever city you go to, you see temples belonging to different gods and goddesses, you see churches, you see mosques, you see gurudwaras. So, we have the right to practice freedom to practice the religion of our choice. Now, cultural and educational rights. See, Sophia is a Christian school, but girls from all kinds, all religions come and study in this institution. Again, so that what does that mean? That you have cultural and educational rights. If you can afford to pay the fees, and if your parents can help you study, maintain the certain standards, then you have the right to study in schools like Sophia or schools run by other minority institutions. It is not necessary that you have to go and seek or study in a government institution only. It ensures that the different cultural groups within the country have the freedom to preserve and promote their language, script and culture. Now that is also there. That through different cultural groups, that other people following other religions, other ethnicities, they have the right to preserve and promote their language, script and culture. Right to constitutional remedies. What is it? It provides for the right to move the court for protecting the fundamental rights. See, if somebody, my neighbor, what has he done? He has encroached upon my property, which is registered in my name, and I have given the right price for it. Then what do I have to do? I can move any court of law. I cannot go and kill him. That should not be, because I'll be depriving him of his life. But I have the right to move a court of law. Then right to education. It provides free and compulsory education to all children from the ages of 6 to 14 in such a manner as the state may by law determine. Okay. So free, compulsory and free education. Everybody has to be educated till the time they are 14 years of age. Now this is very important, children, because if all children of the generation are educated, then the nation only will develop. Now with this we come to the end of the chapter, and tomorrow you will get both the videos and the answers to this particular chapter. Please study well. God bless you. Thank you.